Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Danut Pranams to all the devotees. Thank you all for joining in for the study of Easy Journey to Other Planets, and also our regular prayers on the most auspicious occasion of Ekadashi, the entire month of Ekadashi. So we'll start with prayers. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mayam Dadati Swapanantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sarvana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parjana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Dushe Namaha Panchatattva-atmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So thank you all for joining in again. We are studying from Easy Journey to Other Planets by Srila Prabhupada. So the first chapter we discussed what is the anti-material world, what is the way to go back to the anti-material world. Then we discussed we need to perform anti-material activities starting from Shravanam to Atma Nivedanam. In the second chapter of this book, Srila Prabhupada is talking about what are the different planetary systems, right? We have the sun planet, we have the moon planet, we have the Mars planet, and then we have so many expeditions going on to reach all those planets through material rockets and satellites and this and that. And then Prabhupada very clearly says it is not possible by any of these material mechanical way to reach any planet beyond the earth. What is the way? Yanti deva vrata devan pitran yanti pitrivrataha bhutani yanti bhuteja yanti mad yaji nopimam. Right? Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, what is the way to go to the other planets? In case we're interested in going to the planets of the demigods, then we need to worship the demigods. In case we need to go to the planet of our Pitrus, the forefathers, then we need to worship them. But Krishna says all of them are temporary, right? All of them are temporary. Abrahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartinu Arjuna, right? In all the planets, even if we go there, even if we reach there, even if somehow we get the body that is conducive to live there, even then, once we exhaust our credits, then we have to come back to this earthly planet. However, Krishna says there is one loka where if you come, there is no need to go back to the material world. What is that word? That is the anti-material world. That is Vaikuntha Loka. That is Goloka Vrindavan. Yad Gatvana Nivartante Tad Dhamma Paramam Mamam. Right? And Lord Krishna says in this verse, Yanti Mad Yaji Nopimam. Those who worship me will come back to my abode, from where there is no return back to this material world. Okay. So now we'll request devotees to read. Now the further description of this cosmic manifestation is given here. How it is inferior, how the whatever kind of enjoyment that we have in this material world is temporary. That is what is being discussed here. We'll request Leelanandani Mataji, go ahead. This cosmic manifestation is called nature.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat Pranam, yes.
This cosmic manifestation is called nature, but there is another nature which is superior. The cosmic manifestation is inferior nature, but beyond this nature, which is manifested and unmanifested, there is another nature which is called Sanatana, eternal. It is easy to understand that every manifested here is temporary. The obvious example is our body. If one is 30 years old, 30 years ago his body was not manifested, and in another 50 years it will again be unmanifested. That is a factual law of nature. It is manifested and again annihilated, just as waves in the sea rise frequently and then recede. The materialist, however, is concerned with this mortal life, which can be finished at any moment. Furthermore, as this body will die, so the entire universe, this gigantic material body, will be annihilated. And whether we are fortunate or unfortunate on this planet or another planet, everything will be finished. Why then are we wasting our time trying to go to a planet where everything will be finished? We should try to go to Krishna Loka. This is spiritual science. We must try to understand it. And after understanding it ourselves, we should preach this message to the whole world. Everyone is in darkness. Although people have no knowledge, they are very proud. But it is not advancement of knowledge to go to the moon after 10 years of effort and take a rock and come back. The space travelers are very proud. Oh, I have touched it. But what have they gained? Even if we were able to live there, it would not be for long. It will all be destroyed in the end. Try to find that planet from which one will never return, there where there is eternal life and where one can dance with Krishna. This is the meaning of Krishna consciousness. Take this moment seriously, for Krishna consciousness gives one a chance to reach Krishna and to dance with him eternally. From Vedic literature, we understand that this material world is a manifestation of only 1/4 of the complete creation of God. The 3/4 portion of God's creation is the spiritual world that we find in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, this material world is but a fractional part of the whole. If we look as far as we can see up to the sky, our vision is still confined with only one universe, and there are unlimited universes clustered together within that is called the material world. But beyond this, those clusters of unlimited numbers of universes is the spiritual sky, which is also mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, where the Lord says that beyond the material world is another nature which is eternal. There is no history of its beginning and it has no end. Eternal refers to that which has no end and no beginning. The Vedic religion is therefore called eternal because no one can trace back when it began. The Christian religion has a history of 2000 years and the Mohammedan religion also has history. But if one were to trace back Vedic religion, he would not find its history beginning. Therefore, it is called eternal religion. We may rightly say that God created this material world and this
Hare
indicates
Krishna, thank you, Mataji. So
Thank you,
here,
Mataji.
mute. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. All right. So here, Prabhupada is actually talking about eternal dharma or eternal religion, right? We have the definition of eternal religion in Srimad Bhagavatam. What is the eternal religion definition? Savipumsa paro dharma yata bhakti radokshaje ahituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. That means the eternal occupation of every living entity is to render service to that Supreme Lord. And that service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted in order to completely satisfy the self. Right? And Prabhupada is also saying Bible has got a certain number of years when it came into existence. And then the Quran also has some time period when it came into existence. But the Vedic literatures or the Puranas or the Vedic texts are eternal, right? Because it is written, although it is written by Srimad Bhagavatam is written by Vyasadeva at a particular point in time, it is said that the Vedic concepts are all eternal. It was never put into writing. It is just that Vedavyas put it in writing for people of Kali Yuga. Otherwise, the process of hearing and understanding Vedic literature was all by Shravanam. Shruti, right? That means the spiritual, the disciple will hear from the spiritual master and will assimilate the knowledge. There was no need to put into writing. That is why it is said the Vedic knowledge is completely eternal. And then the other points we already discussed, isn't it? Even if we become advanced to go to the moon and stay there for a long time, we cannot stay there for eternally because we need to come back to this material, to this Bhuloka. Right? Similarly, and Krishna is also talking about, Prabhupada is also talking about Ekapada Vibhuti and Tripada Vibhuti, which we already discussed, right? This material world is 1/4 of the creation of the Lord, whereas the spiritual world, which is eternal, which is not subject to annihilation at all, which is the Vaikunta Loka, there is no anxiety, there is no Kunta, right? That world is never annihilated, and that constitutes 3/4 of the 3/4 of the Lord's creation. So created means itself. That's what Prabhupada is going to explain now. The word creation means it has a beginning, it has an end. Whereas the spiritual world is eternal. Right? So that's what is going to be discussed here. So let's request Karpagavalli Mataji. Please go ahead and read, Mataji. We may rightly say that from there.
Thank you, Mataji. Am I audible, Mataji?
Yes, go ahead.
We may rightly say that God created this material world, and this indicates that God existed before the creation. This very word created suggests that before the creation of the cosmic manifestation, the Lord was existing. Therefore, God is not under the creation. If God were under the creation, how could he have created? He would instead have been one of the objects of this material creation. But God is not under the creation. He is a creator, and therefore he is eternal. That is a spiritual sky where there are innumerable spiritual planets and innumerable spiritual living entities. But those who are not fit to live in that spiritual world are sent to this material world. Voluntarily, we have accepted this material body, but actually we are spirit souls who should not have accepted it. When and how we accepted it cannot be traced. No one can trace the history of when the conditioned soul first accepted the material body. There are 84 lakhs forms of living entities of water, 200,000 species of life are
20 lakhs.
20 lakhs, sorry. 20 lakh species of life among the plants and vegetables. Unfortunately, this Vedic knowledge is not instructed by any university, but these are facts. Let the botanists and the anthropologists research into the Vedic conclusion. Darwin's theory of the evolution of organic matter is, of course, very prominent in the institutions of learning. But the Bhagavata Purana and the other authoritative scriptures of scientific magnitude describe how the living entities in different forms of body evolve one after the other. It is not a new idea, but educators are giving stress only to Darwin's theory. Although in Vedic literature, we have immense information of the living conditions in this material world.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
So you can continue reading, but I just wanted to make a very important verse. This is from Padma Puran. It says, Jalaja Navalakshani. Stavara Laksha Vimshati. Right? Jalaja Navalakshani means 9 lakhs of Jalaja. That means aquatic creatures is 9 lakhs. Right? Jalaja Navalakshani. Stavara Laksha Vimshati. That's what we saw here. Stavara means plants, those which cannot move. Stavara means they're fixed in one particular place. The Laksha Vimshati, it's 20 lakhs. So how much it became? 29 lakhs, right? Jalajana Vilakshani, Stavara Laksha Vimshati. Kramayo Rudra Sankhya. Kramayo means insects. Insects is about 11 lakhs. 29 plus 11, 40 lakhs. The totally we know it is 84 lakhs, right? 8.4 million species. So now we have how many? 9 plus 20, 29. 29 plus 11, 40. Okay. Kramayo Rudra Sankhya. Pakshinam Dasakshanam. Pakshina means birds. Birds is another 10 lakhs. Karpavalli Mataji, just make a count of it. Okay. So, what is that? Pakshinam Dasha Lakshanam plus 10 lakhs. Then, what is that? Trimshal Lakshani Pashavaha. Trimshal means 30 lakhs. Trimshal Lakshani Pashavaha. Then Chatur Lakshani Manushaha. Chatur Lakshani means 4 lakhs of human beings. So how many it became? Oh, sorry. Yes, Karpavalli Mataji. So we had how much? It comes to 84 total?
84 plus 40 and then...
No. Once again. See, Jalaja Navalakshani, 9 lakhs.
9 lakhs.
Stavara Laksha Vimshati plus 20 lakhs. 9 plus 20, 29.
29.
Lakshani, Stavara Laksha Vimshati. Kramayo Rudra Sankhya, that is 11 lakhs of insects.
29 plus
40.
40. 40.
Trimshal Lakshani Pashavaha, 40 plus 30.
70.
70. Then what is that? Pakshinam Dashalakshanam. That is plus 10, 80.
80.
Chatur Lakshani Manushaha. So 80 plus 4, 84 lakhs. That is how we have 8.4 million species always existing. So Darwin's theory is wrong. What is Darwin's theory saying? Darwin's theory said first we were monkeys, and then we got evolved into apes, and then we got evolved into human beings. But here in this particular Padma Puran, it is already mentioned here that all kinds of species already exist. Some of them may not be in particular planets, but all the 8.4 million species, which is stavara, that is plants or animals or four-legged species or human beings or aquatics, they're all eternally existing. They may not be there in all the planets, but they're eternally existing. It is not that there was only one species and that got evolved and became another species. Both the species were already coexisting. That's what we understand from here. Yeah. All right. So let's continue reading. Karpavali Mataji, you want to continue?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. We are only a fractional portion, and then Sindhu Mataji can read. Yes. Go ahead.
We are only a fractional portion of all the living entities in the many universes of the material world. Those who are in the material world and material body are condemned. For example, the population in prison is condemned by the government, but their number is only fraction of the whole population. It is not that the whole population goes to prison. Some who are disobedient are confined in prison. Similarly, the conditioned soul within this material body are only a fraction of all the living entities in the creation of God. And because they have disobeyed God, because they have disobeyed God, because they did not abide by the order of Krishna, they have been put into this material world. If one is sensible and inquisitive, he should try to understand, why have I been put into this conditioned life? I do not wish to suffer. There are three kinds of suffering, including miseries pertaining to the body and mind. In Hawaii, in front of my house, a man was keeping some animals and birds for the purpose of taking them to be slaughtered. I gave this example to my students. These animals are standing here, and if you tell them, oh, my dear animals, why are you standing here? Go away, you are meant for this slaughterhouse. They cannot go, they have no intelligence. Suffering without knowledge, without a remedy is animal life. One who cannot understand that he is suffering and who thinks that he is well, is very well off in this animal consciousness, not human consciousness. The human being should be cognizant of suffering, the threefold miseries of this planet. One should know that he is suffering in birth, suffering in death, suffering in old age, and suffering in disease. And one should be inquisitive as to how he may avoid the suffering. That is the real research work. We have suffered from. Okay, thank you.
So, Haribol. So there are three kinds of recipes which are given here. Which is Adhyatmik, Adhibhautik, and Adhidaivik, right? We already discussed that. Adhyatmik is caused by our body and mind, right? Animals don't understand that, they're in the line to being slaughtered. They're nicely fed but before they're being slaughtered. And what do? They don't understand. They think that, oh, I'm fed nice food. Let me enjoy. Right? And that is the kind of illusion that we are also placing ourselves when we indiscriminately try to enjoy in this material world, knowing well that this place is Ashashvatam and is Dukhalayam. And our purpose of being human beings in this material world is to get out of this material world. We live in such a way that we get out of this material world. Just like a prisoner tries to get out of the prison and go back, outside where he experiences freedom. But if a prisoner feels, that I'm happy here in this prison house, right? Every day in the morning, I don't have to work. I have to get my breakfast. I get my lunch. I get my dinner, right? In that way, if a prisoner is satisfied in the prison house, he will continue eternally there. Similarly, we will also continue eternally in this material world, suffering from the three kleshas, which is Adhibhautik, Adhyatmik, and Adhidevik, which is famine and flood we spoke. Adhibhautik is other insects cause, there's some insect bite us and then we get malaria and this and that, and other living entities, some people may hurt us, right? That is Adhibhautik, caused by other living entities. And also the four main problems we are faced with in this material world is Janma, Mrityu, Jara, and Vyadhi. When all these four difficulties are there, how can we ever say that we are enjoying in this material world? That is foolishness. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead. We will request now Sindhu Mataji, are you around? You can read. We have suffered from the beginning of our birth from there.
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna Pranams.
Yes, Mataji, go ahead.
We have suffered from the beginning of our birth. As a baby, the human being is tightly placed in the abdomen of the mother in an airtight bag for 9 months. He cannot even move. There are insects biting him, and he cannot protest. After the child comes out, the suffering continues. The mother undoubtedly takes much care, but still the child cries because he is suffering. There are bugs biting or there are pains in his stomach. The child is crying. The mother does not know how to pacify him. The suffering begins in the womb of his mother. Then, after his birth, he grows up. There is more suffering. He does not want to go to school, but he is forced to. He does not want to study, but the teacher gives him tasks. If we analyze our life, we will find that it is full of suffering. Why then are we coming here? The conditioned souls are not very bright. We should inquire, why am I suffering? If there is a remedy, we must take advantage of it. We are eternally connected with the Supreme Lord, but somehow or the other, we are now in material contamination. Therefore, we must take up a process by which to go back again to the spiritual world. That linking process is called yoga. The actual translation of the word yoga is plus. At the present moment, we are minus God and minus the Supreme. But when we make ourselves plus connected, then our human form of life is perfect. During our lifetime, we have to practice approaching that point of perfection. And at the time of death, when we give up this material body, that perfection has to be realized. At the time of death, one must be prepared. Students, for instance, prepare 2 to 5 years in college, and the final test of their education is the examination. If they pass the examination, they get a degree. Similarly, in the subject of life, if we prepare for examination at the time of death and pass it, then we are transferred to the spiritual world. Everything is examined at the time of death.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So here Prabhupada is talking about academic examinations, right? We all have, whichever class we are in, say first standard, 10th standard, 12th standard, whatever it may be, 9th standard, right? We all have a 1 year exam. 1 year, at the end of 1 year, we have examination. And we prepare for the entire 1 year, we prepare for that particular examination, right? Similarly, death is the examination for a spiritualist, and the whole lifetime is a preparation. If we adequately prepare well, then Krishna will ensure his remembrance at the time of death. However, if we don't prepare and rather engage in sense gratification, then we are we are planning to fail, right? Failing to plan is planning to fail. If we don't utilize the human form of life properly at the time of death, we will not remember Krishna. That means we are failing in our final examination, like that. Okay, fine. Okay, Shobha Mataji, would you like to read? Okay, Shobha Mataji is joining us after a long time. Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji, go ahead. There is a very common Bengali proverb.
Hare Krishna Mataji. There is a very common Bengali proverb that says that whatever one does for the perfection will be tested at the time of his death. Bhagavad Gita describes what we should do at the time of our death. When we are giving up this present body for the dhyana yogi meditator, Sri Krishna speaks the following verses. Yat karshanam veda vidho vadanti vishanti yat yathayo ragaha yat chintaro brahmacharyam
charanti
charanti tate padam sangrahena pravakshaye sarvadvarani
sarvadvarani
samyamya
samyamya manohridi
manohriti niritya cha murthya atyatmana prana ashito yoga dharana. Person learned in the Vedas who utter Omkara and who are great sages in the renounced order enter into Brahman. Desiring such perfection, one practices celibacy. I shall now explain to you this process by which one may attain salvation. This yogic situation is that of detachment from all sensual engagements, closing all the doors of senses and fixing the mind on the heart and the life air at the top of the head. One establishes himself in yoga. Bhagavad Gita 8.11 and 12. In the yoga system, this process is called pratyahara, which means in technical language the opposite. Now the eyes are engaged in the seeing worldly beauty, so one has to withdraw them from enjoying that beauty and concentrate on seeing beauty inside. This is called pratyahara. Similarly, one has to hear the Omkara sound from within. Om iti Ekasharanam Brahma Vyaharam Mam Anusmaran Yah Prayati Tyah Keham Sayati Paramam Gati. After seeing being situated in this yoga practice and vibrating the sacred syllable Om, the supreme combination of letters, if one thinks of the supreme personality of Godhead and quits his body, he is certainly reached the spiritual planet. Bhagavad Gita 8.13. In this way, all the senses have to be stopped in their sensual external activities, and the mind must be concentrated on Vishnumurti, the form of Vishnu, Lord Vishnu. That is the perfection of yoga. The mind is very turbulent, so it has to be fixed upon the heart. When the mind is fixed within the heart and the life air is transferred to the top of the head, one can attain the perfection of yoga. The perfect yogis then determines where he is to go. There are innumerable material planets, and beyond these planets, there is a spiritual world. Yogis have this information from Vedic scriptures. For example, before I came to the United States, I read descriptions of it from books. Similarly, a description of the higher planets and the spiritual world can be found in the Vedic scriptures. The yogi knows everything. He can transfer himself to any planet he likes. He does not need the help of spacecraft. Material
Okay, Hare
scientists.
Krishna. Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna Dandat Pranam Mataji. This
Hare
time is very
Krishna.
convenient, so I could participate with mercy. Thank you, Mataji.
Okay, Hare Krishna. So we'll keep it at 5 o'clock. Many devotees requested that 6 o'clock is a little difficult, so we'll keep it at this time. All right. So Prabhupada is talking about how we can know the description of even a mini material planet. Like Prabhupada is talking about how I got to know about the US by studying the various literatures or books available. Similarly, if we need to know about the various planets like Mercury, Venus, Mars, Earth, etc., then we need to read about those planets. However, there is no mechanical means by way of rockets, etc., by which one can go there. Because even if one can reach those planets, one will not be able to enter that planet, right? Just like Prabhupada gives example in one of the lectures about the visa, right? We need to get the required documents. Only then when we go to that particular country's airport, they will allow us through the immigration. Otherwise, they will say, you are rejected from entering into our country, so we have to come back. Prabhupada says that is what is generally happening, right? People think they're reaching the moon planet, but they're just getting some rock or something from there, right? They're not able to view any living entities because their body is not conducive enough to go into the moon planet. As simple as that, right? If you want to go into the moon planet, we have to worship the Chandra Devata, and by his mercy, and if you have the respective level of karmic credits, then we might get a body that is suitable to stay in the moon planet, and then that is the way we can go there. And we cannot go by any means, by means of any rocket or this or that, or any satellite to go into the moon planet. That is just not possible. That is given in the Vedic scriptures. What is the way to go to the various planets? And then Prabhupada is also talking about pratyahara, right? We have the various Ashtanga yoga process, right? Yama, Niyama, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dhyana, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi, like that. Right? Pratyahara means opposite. That means Prabhupada uses the word dovetail. That means if we are, instead of using our senses in our sensual engagements, we use the senses in the service of the Lord. Right? That means opposite of what we normally use it. We use it in the service of the Lord, then that is called pratyahara, where one actually dedicates one's propensity in the service of the Lord. Of course, it's as part of Ashtanga Yoga system, there are several other rules and regulations which are not likely to be practiced in this Kali Yuga. In this Kali Yuga, one can transfer oneself back to the spiritual world, to that anti-material world, to Lord Supreme Abode, simply by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shla Gurudev ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. So now quickly we will do our recitations for today. First and foremost, let's start with Bhagavad Gita. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Chapter number 12, entitled Devotional Service, Bhakti Yoga. अर्जुनोवाच एवं सततयुक्ता ये भक्तास्त्वां पर्युपासते ये चाप्यक्षरम् अव्यक्तं तेषां के योगवित्तमाः। श्रीभगवानुवाच मय्यावेशमनो ये मां नित्ययुक्ता उपासते श्रद्धया परयोपेतास्ते मे युक्ततमो मताः। ये त्वक्षरम् अनिर्देश्यम् अव्यक्तं पर्युपासते सर्वत्र गम् अचिन्त्यं च कूटस्थम् अचलं ध्रुवम् सन्नियम्येन्द्रियग्रामं सर्वत्र समबुद्धयः ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मामेव सर्वभूतहिते रताः। क्लेशो अधिकतरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखम् देहवद्भिरवाप्यते। ये तु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्पराः अनन्येनैव योगेन मां ध्यायन्त उपासते तेषामहं समुद्धर्ता मृत्युसंसारसागरात् भवामि न चिरात् पार्थ मय्यावेशितचेतसां मय्येव मन आदत्स्व मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय निवसिष्यसि मय्येव अत ऊर्ध्वं न संशयः। अत चित्तं समादातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिरम् अभ्यासयोगेन ततो मामि चाप्तुं धनञ्जय। अभ्यासेऽपि समर्थोऽसि मत्कर्म परमो भव मदर्थम् अपि कर्माणि कुर्वन् सिद्धिमवाप्स्यसि। अतैतत् अपि अशक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं ततः कुरु यथात्मवान्। श्रेयो हि ज्ञानमभ्यासात् ज्ञानात् ध्यानं विशिष्यते ध्यानात् कर्मफलत्यागस्त्यागा शान्तिरनन्तरम्। अद्वेष्टा सर्वभूतानां मैत्रः करुण एव च निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः समदुःखसुखक्षमी सन्तुष्टः सततं योगी यतात्मा दृढनिश्चयः मय्यर्पिता मनो बुद्धिर्यो मद्भक्तः मे प्रियः। यस्मान्नो द्विजते लोको लोकान्नो द्विजते च यः हर्षमर्षभयोद्वेगैर्मुक्तः स च मे प्रियः। अनपेक्षा शुचिर्दक्षा उदासीनो गतव्यतः सर्व आरम्भ परित्यागी यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः। यो न हृष्यति न द्वेष्टि न शोचति न काङ्क्षति शुभाशुभः परित्यागी भक्तिमान् यः स मे प्रियः। समशत्रौ च मित्रे च तथा मानपमानयोः शीतोष्ण सुखदुःखेषु समसङ्गविवर्जितः तुल्यनिन्दा सुतिर्मौनी सन्तुष्टो येन केनचित् अनिकेतः स्थिरमतिर्भक्तिमान् मे प्रियो नरः। ये तु धर्मामृतमिदं यथोक्तं पर्युपासते श्रद्धाधाना मत्परमां भक्तस्तेऽतीव मे प्रियः। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So now we will quickly go on to our Srimad Bhagavatam study of the verses from Canto number 10, chapter number 31, entitled The Gopis, the Songs of Separation. Entitled, generally we call it the Gopi Geet prayers. Why? Gopis. In separation from Lord Sri Krishna. Gopya uchuhu jayati dedikam Krishna janmana vraja श्रयत इंदिरा कृष्ण शश्वदात्रहि दैतदृश्यतां कृष्ण दीक्षुतावकाश वैधृता शवास त्वां विचिन्वते शरदुदाशये कृष्ण साधु जात साध सरसी चोधरा कृष्ण श्रीमुषादृशा सुरतनातते कृष्ण शुल्कदासिका परदनिघ्नतो कृष्ण नेह किं वधा विषजलाप्ययात् कृष्णा व्यालराक्षसान् कर्षमारुतात् कृष्णा वैद्युतानलात् वृषमयात्मजात् कृष्णा विश्वतो भयात् ऋषभते वयं कृष्णा रक्षिता मुहुः न खलु गोपिका कृष्णा नन्दनो भवान् अखिल देहिनां कृष्णा अन्तरात्मदृक् विगनसार्थितो कृष्णा विश्वगुप्तये सकौदेयिवान् कृष्णा सात्वतां पुले विरचिता भयं कृष्णा वृष्णिधूर्यते चरणमीयुषां कृष्णा संश्रुतेर्भयात् करसरोरुहं कृष्णा कान्तकामदं शिरसि देहिना कृष्णा श्रीकरागृहं व्रजजनार्तिहन् कृष्णा वीरयोषिताम् निज जनस्मया कृष्णा ध्वंसन स्मिता भज सखे भवात् कृष्णा किङ्करी स्मनो जलरुहाननं कृष्णा चारुदर्शया प्रणत देहिनां कृष्णा पापकर्षणं तृणचरानुगं कृष्णा श्रीनिकेतनं फणिफणार्पितं कृष्णा ते पदाम्बुजं तृणुकुचेषुना कृष्णा कृन्दिहृच्चयं मधुरया गिरा कृष्णा वल्गुवाक्यया बुधमनोज्ञया कृष्णा पुष्करे क्षणां विधिकरीरिमा कृष्णा वीरमूयती अदरसीदुना प्याययस्वनाः तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापकम् श्रवणमङ्गलं कृष्णा श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये कृष्णा भूरिदा जना प्रहसितं प्रिया कृष्णा प्रेम वीक्षणं विहरणं च ते कृष्णा ध्यानमङ्गलम् यासि संविदो कृष्णा या हृदि स्पृशाः कुहकनो मना कृष्णा क्षोभयन्ति चलसि यद्व्रजात् कृष्णा चारयान् पशून् नलिनसुन्दरं कृष्णानाथते पदम् शीलतृणाङ्कुरै कृष्णा सीदति दिना कलिलतां कृष्ण कलिलतां मना कृष्णा कान्त गच्छति किन परीक्षये कृष्णा नीलकुण्ठले वनरुहाननं कृष्णाभिभ्रदावृतम् गणरजस्वलं कृष्णा दर्शयन्मुहुर् मनसि न स्मरं कृष्णा वीरयजसि प्रणतकामदं कृष्णा पद्मजार्चितं शरणिमण्डनं कृष्णा ध्येयमापदि चरणपङ्कजं शान्तमं च ते रमणनस्तनीश कृष्णा अर्पयादिहन् सुरतवर्धनं कृष्णा शोकनाशनं स्वैतवेणुना कृष्णा सुस्तुचुम्बितम् इतररागवे स्मारणं नृणाम् इतरवीरनास्तेदरामृतम् अतति यद्भवान् आहनिकाननं तृतीयुगायते कृष्णा त्वामपश्यताम् कुटिलकुण्डलं कृष्णा श्रीमुखं च ते जडौ दीक्षतां कृष्णा पक्ष्मकृदृशाम् पतिसुतन्वया कृष्णा भ्रातृबान्धवान् अतिविलङ्घ्यते कृष्णा अन्त्य अच्युतागता गतिवीरस्तवोज्झितमोहिता तव योषिता कृष्णा कत्यजेन्निशि रहसि संविदं कृष्णा हृच्चयोदयम् प्रहसिताननं कृष्णा प्रेम वीक्षणम् बृहदुरश्रियो कृष्णा वीक्ष्यदामते मूरति स्पृहा कृष्णा मुह्यते मना प्रजवनौकसां कृष्णा व्यक्तिरङ्गते त्रिजिनहन्त्रेलं कृष्णा विश्वमङ्गलम् यजमनाक्षण कृष्णा त्वत्पृहात्मना स्वजनहृद्रुजां कृष्णा यन्निषूदनम् यत्ते सुजातचरणाम्बुरुहं स्तनेषु भीताक्षणै प्रियदधीमहि कर्कशेषु तेनातवीमतसि तद्व्यततेन किं स्वेत् ऊर्ध्वादिभिर्भ्रमतिभिर्भवदायुषां नः हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. So now we'll sing our Damodarashtakam. Very, very auspicious to sing Damodarashtakam today. I mean, all the days of Kartik month, it is very auspicious to sing this Damodarashtakam. So let's start with this Damodarashtakam written by Satyavrata Muni. Very nice commentary written by Sanatana Goswami, which talks about the various lessons learned. Like, for example, the Kundalam, right? The Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam. It's talking about the Kundalam, right? Why is Kundalam alone mentioned here? The Acharyas explains, Sanatana Goswami explains how the Kundalam is the most fortunate ornament compared to all the other ornaments that Krishna is wearing. Why? Because the Kundalam, as Krishna is running, the Kundalam is swinging to and fro and is touching Krishna's cheeks and is actually kissing Krishna's cheeks. Right? No other ornament of Lord Shri Krishna gets the fortune of kissing Krishna's cheeks, isn't it? So in this way, Sanatana Goswami gives an example, gives a description of why Kundalam alone is mentioned here. Right? No other ornament is mentioned here like that. All right. So let's sing this beautiful song. Namamishwaram Shachitanandarupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam Yashodhabhiyolukaladhavamanam Paramrishtamatyantato Drutagopyam Rudantam Muhurnetra Yogmam Rejantam Karambojayugmena Satankanetram मुहुश्वासकम्पात्रिरेखाङ्कघण्टा सीताग्रैवं दामोदरं भक्तिवधम् इति दृक्ष्वलीलाभिरानन्दकुण्डे स्वघोषं निमज्जन्तमाख्यापयन्तम् तदीयेषिताज्ञेषु भक्तजिता त्वाम् पुनः प्रेमतस्तं सतावृत्ति वन्दे परं देवमोक्षां मोक्षवतीं वा न चान्यं वृणेऽहं वरेशरपीह इदं देवपूर्णाद गोपालबालम् सदा मे मनस्याभिराष्टं विमन्ये इदं ते मूकाम्बोजम् अत्यन्तनीलये वृत्तं कुण्ठलैः स्निग्धरक्त्य च गोप्या मुहुश्चुम्बितां बिम्बरक्तधरं मे मनस्याभिराष्टमलं लक्षलाभये नमो देव दामोदर आनन्द विष्णु प्रसीद प्रभो दुःखजलविमग्नम् कृपादृष्टिवृष्ट्यातिदीनं वदानो गृहणेश मामग्नं वेद्यक्षिदृशा कुबेरात्मजौ भादमूर्त्यैव याद्वात् त्वयामुचितौ भक्तिभाजौ कृतौ च तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकामे प्रयच्छाम् नमो क्षेग्रहो मे श्रीदामोदरेह नमस्ते सुदाम्ने सुरदीप्तिदाम्ने त्वदीयोदरायात विश्वस्य धाम्ने नमो राधिकायै त्वदीयप्रियायै नमो अनन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यम् नमो राधिकायै प्रियायै नमो अनन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यम् हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय जय प्रभुपाद गुरुदेव निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद श्री गुरुदेव की जय हो। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय हो। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। श्री श्री राधा दामोदर भगवान की जय। श्री श्री यशोदा दामोदर भगवान की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। Hare Krishna. Tanut pranams. Thank you all for joining in. Tomorrow is the most auspicious occasion of the 46th Tirobhav Tithi of ISKCON founder Acharya His Divine Grace Avi Charanaravind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So please join us from Brahma Muhurta chanting at 5 o'clock. And then tomorrow we will have our evening session sharp at 5 o'clock. Because there is 5:50, there is Bhakti Sangha Srimad Bhagavatam session. So we will start, probably we'll start a little more earlier, say 4:45 or 4:30, if that's convenient for all. Or we'll start at 5 sharp, not later than that. So 5 to 5:45, we'll have our Kartik month normal session, everyday session. And then 5:50, if you all are free, you can join in for the Bhagavatam session. So this is for the Bhakti Sangha. So there it is about 8:30 in the morning. I believe it's there, Bhagavatam class. So thank you very much. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai. Anant Koti Vaishnava Vrind ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyev cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Anant Koti Vaishnava Vrind ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurudev ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Yes, Karpaguli Mataji, you want to say something?
We have to fast tomorrow, Mataji? Tomorrow.
Yes. Tomorrow there is fasting till noon, full fast till noon. Thank you. Thank you for asking. So tomorrow there is full fast till noon, and then we can honor Krishna Prasadam after 12 noon, mid afternoon. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So yeah, we'll meet in the morning, Mataji, 5 o'clock. You are very regular. You joined before me. So
Thank
you are the greatest inspiration for me. Thank you very much. So we'll meet in the Brahma Murta program tomorrow morning, 5 o'clock. All right. So thank you very much. Anything else from devotees? All right. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shla Gurudev ki jai. Nitai